Hello there, it's the Archivist from TradingCardArchives.com, and I'm back to do the rest of this League of Legends box. I remember I left like I think 4 packs in here from the last video, and I promised I would come back and do a bigger battle with my other League of Legends cards, which is what I have here on the table. Although I have to warn you, they're not League of Legends. This is the only actual League of Legends cards that I've found, been able to order so far. These I thought actually were League of Legends cards, but they are not. These are Victor's Versus cards, and that's the Chinese name, and then you can see that name is here as well. And so what is Victor's Versus? Well, Victor's Versus is sort of the precursor to Mobile League in China. So when Tencent bought Riot, this would be back in the early 2010s, something like 2008 or something like that, I think. They basically bought Riot outright. They said, "Here, here's a billions of dollars. We own you now," and that worked. And then, but Riot maintained control of the IP, and so at the beginning, mobile gaming wasn't seen as that cool of a thing in the West. It was big, but nobody was making like a lot of money from it, right? And League was making a lot of money on PC. And so they wanted to stay on PC. They didn't want to, spoil their brand by moving into mobile. But Tencent, being a Chinese company, was like, no, man, mobile's where it's at. Like they're making, billions of dollars from Clash of Clans and all these other games. And so they just want another mobile game, right? That's why they bought Riot. And so, there was a big fight, and Tencent basically said, okay, well, we're just going to go and make our own game. We're going to use these assets that we own. So you'll see a lot of the same champions and artwork and just style and everything is in Victor's Versus, but it's not League of Legends. They don't have the same names. They don't do the same powers. It's not the same game. It's a totally different game. But for years, it was all that the Chinese market had. And now today, of course, things are different, and mobile gaming is huge. And Riot, it was like, oh, we're dumb. We probably should have done mobile from the start. Like they've realized their mistake now, and League is a massive mobile game as well, including in China. But Victor's Versus lives on, so both games exist now, and both have fan bases and operate and all that kind of stuff. And now the trouble for us Westerners is vendors sell these products mixed up. So this and this will be on the same page, right? And the only way you can tell this is League is it says League of Legends right on the box. But even that's not always good enough. You have to be like super careful because like this one doesn't say Victor's Versus anywhere on it, but it's definitely a Victor's Versus set. If you can read the Hanji, you can of course know that. Okay, so what are we gonna do today? So yeah, okay, so we're gonna open the rest of these. We're gonna compare them with this and this. I wanted to show you the hit card that came from this box. So this is like an acrylic, like a acrylic card of Seraphim. It's a very interesting looking card for sure. But this was like the hit pack that was in this box when I first opened it. Now there's only 4 packs left in here. We are going to open all of those today, so you'll see the rest of this box. And then to go up against that, we're going to open these, which are Victor's Versus cards from Little Frog. So these are Little Frog cards. They make the Goddess Story, they make Gundam Mechanical Story, make a lot of story type games. But yeah, these are just trading cards. They're not TCG cards. Both of those are just trading cards. It's going to get confusing because these are TCG cards now. So let me put that to the side. And then, yeah, so this is the Victor's Versus TCG. And it's a proper TCG with hidden back and rules. And, I've got the rule book here. I've done a translation of these rules if you wanted to learn how to play. I've got a little guide online on the website you can go and look at. But basically, there's tons of rules, the way they fight and everything. It's crazy, and there's a couple different releases too. I think like 3 or 4. I only have this one, but we'll open 4 packs of that today too. And that'll be kind of our little League of Legends Victors versus wrap-up party, if you will. We're gonna finish these off and then take a look at what we've got. So why don't we start with the TCG cards? They're going to be the lowest end of these three offerings. Although remember, they're meant to be part of a TCG, right? They're not specifically made as trading cards, although they look pretty good, I think. But you can see there's the hidden information back, right? So that you could play the game without needing to sleeve the cards. But you can see a lot of the champions are going to look the same as league champions, or at least have the same kind of artwork, but they're not. These are Victor's Verses. You can also see there's rules on the cards, and yeah, all that kind of stuff that you would typically see. Did we pull only rares? Oh no, here's 2 SRs. I was like, did we pull only rares in that? Okay, there's 2 SRs for us. I don't think it's like a full-featured TCG, but it's probably similar to Hero Battle in its kind of complexity level, right? So not quite like something like One Piece or Magic the Gathering, where we've got tons of different strategies and things. But still, I think an interesting enough game. And if you are into this kind of art style or the characters, you know, then of course it's a fantastic TCG to be playing. Here's our them there. And then this is a puzzle piece. So it's not, you can't actually play with that card. But if you have 9 of them, you can make a puzzle. So it can still be kind of fun. Oops. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so yeah, so these are Victor's Verses, not League of Legends. That confused me for a long time, still confuses me a little bit, although I'm mostly over it now. I've figured it out at least. I've never played this Victor's Verses game though. I think it might be tricky to play it outside of China. Although I do not actually know. I don't actually know. Oh, there's an SSR. Some nice etching on there. Looking good. It might be possible. I'm never quite sure. But it probably involves using emulators or something to do it. But the TCG you can definitely play outside of China. It's very cheap. These boxes, maybe $14 for the whole box. So yeah, you're not paying a lot of money for this game. Although, like I said, I don't think it's a super popular game, at least not outside of China. But some very interesting characters here. Dupe of an SR. And we got another puzzle piece. Fortunately, 2 of those today. But yeah, there's our cards from the Victor's Versus TCG. So I'll leave a few of these on the table, and we'll put the rest away to make room for our next set of pulls. Let's see here. Trying to decide what to leave. Maybe these 3. These 2 there. How about that? That'll give us these then to look at. All right. There's Victor's Versus. Oh, the TCG. Now we're going to get into Victor's Versus the trading cards. So these are the same art as here, but on a trading card and with Little Frog's treatments. And so Little Frog does a really, really good job treating their cards. You'll see what I mean as we get into them. But these are now, you know, proper trading cards with a back that has information and things like that. Although still kind of the same artwork. You'll see the same champions appear on all of these. Cool looking SR. Just remember that these are not TCG. These are just trading cards. Beautiful etching, stamping work on that. It's an SSR then. Our second pack. Very cool. That looks kind of like a Transformer or Gundam or something. Winter Pirate. Awesome treatment. One more here. Beautiful. These are point cards. They aren't worth anything outside of China, but if you're inside China, you can redeem them with Little Frog's system to get like free packs and free boxes and things. Very, very cool cards here. A couple more of these opened up, and then we'll move on to the actual League of Legends cards, which are here too, I promise. Took me forever to find them though, and even when I found boxes, like the first 2 vendors I tried to order from, they didn't have it, and so they're like, oh, we don't have that, and I'm like, okay. and so I just had to kind of order again and again until I finally found a vendor that would send me that box, and then actually did send me that box. That took a while. These SRs with the silvering makes them kind of dark. I don't like the dark cards so much. The SSRs all look really nice. And this is something that I think Little Frog does exceptionally well, but notice the texture in the background there. That'll be different on pretty much every single card. They don't reuse those textures ever really, and that's pretty amazing because not a lot of companies will do that. Almost everybody reuses their refraction texture. That's what that's called. Like Kaio, for example, every SR will have exactly the same texture on it. But Little Frog, they do much better. They do, I think, a very good job of making their cards all unique. And yeah, kind of a little bit waifu-y there. Very cool texture work on there too. And we've got at least an SR and SSR in every single pack. That's been very nice, I think. All right, let me then clean that up a little bit, and we'll make some room now for the actual League of Legends cards, which are coming, and then you'll have seen an entire box of those. Although I can tell you from the half a box I opened last time, they're really good, like very, very good trading cards. Great stock, the art was nice, design work is great. Variety is okay. You're only going to get 2 cards per pack, so you kind of have to be ready to have, you know, like less total cards on the table when you open a box. But the cards that you get then are a little bit higher quality. It's a Jinka is the company that made it, and they are actually a pretty well-known manufacturer, you know, at least in that we've seen other card sets by them. So our first pack here is an SSR, and like the art could very much be the same, right? It's because it literally is in some cases the exact same artwork, just being used in a different way, and it's just because they had that disagreement about mobile gaming. back at the beginning, which I can kind of understand it. I mean, I remember Western companies really not thinking too highly of mobile gaming at the beginning. I started working on mobile games pretty much the day the iPhone was announced. I was like, that has to be like, there's going to be games there, and there were a lot of games made for that. Uh, but it always kind of surprised me that like the Western companies didn't get on board as quickly, and even to the point where they were like talking down to it a lot, like, you know, it's beneath us to make a mobile game, blah 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 blah. And then like 2 years later, they're just like, oh wait, billions of dollars. I forgot I like money, and so then they're all making them again. It's so strange. Very cool looking dude there. So these are the actual like league cards now, like real league cards. They've got great stock. They look nice. Made by Jinka, like a proper manufacturer. Yeah, I hope you can understand that I do like these ones quite a bit more than the others. And there's our last SSI there. Beautiful, Tinkerer type guy. And then there's a UR. How nice. So that is League and Victor's Versus and the TCG. So you got to kind of see everything that I have now sort of related to League of Legends, although again, only these are the actual League of Legends cards. There is another box out there. It's a brown and blue box, like a rectangle, square, cube box, and has a blue X on it. And that is also League cards. I've heard they're really good, but they're expensive, like $40 a box. So I haven't been able to pick that up yet. But if you enjoy this type of content, you know, drop me a comment. Let me know what you liked about it or didn't like about it, or if you can teach me something about any of these. I always love to learn more about the cards I have. So yeah, I would love to learn. But for now, I think I'll leave you with this. This is, yeah, League of Legends and Victor's Versus. Have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.